What's up, everybody? So, should the Yankees trade Luke Voit? It's a question going around, and it's been buttered around a whole bunch of different places on other YouTube channels and stuff. I wanted to give you some my insight on it, and I have proposed a Luke Voit trade in a regular trade and in a three-team trade in some of my current videos. So, a five-bold three-team proposals and what the Yankees should do, so there's a couple of videos that I encourage you to watch here in the description down below if you have not yet. So you'll see what my thought process is in terms of Luke Voit. But let's get a couple things out there. First of all, Luke Voit has 4 more years of team control. So he's not going to be a free agent until 2025. So, and at a low salary, and with his production, he is an absolute gold mine. Okay, his trade value is at through the roof, into the sky, into the clouds, okay? He's a very valuable asset, but he's also a very valuable asset for the Yankees to keep. So, and personally, I do think the Yankees should consider it, but only under certain circumstances, okay? Number one, re-signing DJ Lemahieu and bringing him, my opinion, putting him to first base, okay? If they trade Luke Voit. Okay, but my opinion is to re-signing DJ first. You have to get that done. In the meantime, in my opinion too, I think the Yankees should address some pitching stuff until they figure out what to do with, figure out when to re-sign or get this thing done already with DJ LeMahieu to see whether they're going to bring him back or not. I think if the Yankees put feelers out on Luke Voit, there will be a lot of interest. Particularly being the home run leader in the MLB over the past season, and even since he's come to the Yankees, he's been an absolute stud. Okay, he's been a stud, and so that cannot be overlooked. Now, these are the 3 trades that I think that would be viable, reasonable trades for Luke Voit. Number 1 will be to the Washington Nationals. Okay, yes, the Nationals. They don't have a first baseman. They don't. It's been a rotating thing right now. So I think this is not. And if you look at the Nationals' top prospects, I think from 1 to 10 in the top 30, all pitchers. They have a boatload of pitching prospects. Okay, that are ranked high. The Yankees have a dire need for pitching. So this is an opportunity for them to get a ton of pitching prospects back for Luke Voit. Okay, just my way of thinking about it. So my proposal would be sending him to Washington for Will Crowe, who's their number 3 prospect overall. He was a right-handed pitcher. Okay, Seth Romero, who's their number 9 prospect, a starting pitcher, left-handed starting pitcher, and what's the guy's name? Mason Denneberg. Okay, he's their number 7 prospect, a right-handed pitcher. At least one of these has already seen the majors. So, which shows a little bit of major league experience, and he might even get more. Honestly, with 4 years for Luke Voit, they might get more than 3 top 10 pitching prospects, and I would definitely ask for more. Particularly since other teams, after Mike Clevenger got last year for Cleveland. Some of these, and I've shown in other trade videos that I've done that the prospect packages for superstars or players like this with team control that are producing are sky high. Okay, so if teams are going to extort the Yankees have to do the same thing. Okay, period. So that's number 1. So he'd go to Washington for 3 top 10 pitching prospects. Okay, one of which I think, or maybe 2 of which, has already seen the majors, which helps the Yankees boost their pitching farm at the major league and the minor league level, give them some depth. Okay, particularly after they lost 3 starters this past offseason, and I doubt any of them are returning. Number 2 trade, and I've talked about this before, would be either a straight up trade to Cleveland for Francisco Lindor, or each team adds a prospect. The Yankees would add, Luis Gil or something like that, or Estevan Florial or somebody like that. Even though they're both top 5 prospects, only one of them. And the Cleveland Indians, I think, would bring in add somebody like Daniel. I'm looking at my baseball book. Daniel Espino, who's their number 7 prospect, a right-handed pitcher. Okay, now hear me out here too. It seems a little lopsided if you go straight up Voit for Lindor, because Voit has 4 years of control if Lindor only has 1. Now, with that said, Lindor is a top 5 player in the major leagues. okay? And so that has to be considered too. Now, Voigt's putting himself up there to be one of the top first basemen in the majors right now as well. So, to me, it's a little lopsided. I would actually ask for Lindor and a prospect for Voit, in my opinion. But Lindor is Lindor. He's going to get a ransom back. So, and there's been a lot of comparisons of saying, well, what should he do with DJ or Lindor? Personally, I think the Yankees have the capacity to do both, particularly if they trade Voit. And keep in mind too, I like to put this in perspective. People are like, yeah, we're gonna have to sign Lindor for 10 years or whatnot. Yeah, well, think about it this way: if they're gonna give DJ 4 years at a minimum, he's gonna go to 36. You give 10 years to Lindor, he's gonna go to 36. So you could do the first 6 years of Lindor's contract, and he wouldn't be even starting DJ LeMahieu's new contract. Okay, so keep that in perspective. He has 6 more years of playing until he approaches DJ LeMahieu's current age. That's gold too. Okay, youth. He also hits from both sides of the bat. He gives the balance. He gives the lineup about more balance from the left-handed side. He gives that athleticism. Okay, contact hitting, which to me the Yankees have in DJ LeMahieu, but need another one. So if you have DJ and Lindor, it's a really, really good scenario, and that's better defense up the middle, which the Yankees need. I mean, that's where you center field, shortstop, second base, you back up the pitchers. Okay, with good defense around the field, particularly up the middle. That's another way of thinking about it as well. But so Francisco Lindor for Voit is a trade that should be investigated as well. And my third trade is sending him to Milwaukee. And I proposed Milwaukee in a 3-team trade earlier, and I've gotten some feedback from Milwaukee fans. Well, this is a straight-up trade with them. Milwaukee needs bookends. They need a first baseman and a third baseman, starters. So they need corner infielders. Well, this is an opportunity to get both of them from the Yankees. Luke Voit and Miguel Andujar, both of which have 4 years of team control, which gives them a lot of money, particularly if since they're looking to not add a lot to the payroll. Well, this is addressing it right there. And in return, the Yankees would get Aaron Ashby, who's their number 6 prospect, a left-handed pitcher, and Corbin Burns, who's their right-handed starter. I think he might be their number 1 or number 2 starter. But keep in mind, too, okay, I was thinking about this earlier. People saying, well, they're going to give up an ace. Just because you're a team starting pitcher doesn't mean you're a bona fide ace. An ace, in my opinion, is someone who can be a number 1 on almost every team. Okay? Corbin Burns is not at that point yet. Okay? I think he was 6-0 or 7-1. Okay, that's good stats. Okay. But you got to do it over a 162-game season. And you have to do it over a bunch of years. Like Jacob deGrom, Derek Cole, Justin Verlander, guys like that. Okay? You do it over a couple of years because those guys can be an ace on pretty much every team. Okay? So that type of productivity needs to happen on a regular basis for several years before you can be considered an ace, in my opinion. A lot of people might disagree. It's totally fine. But I think he might be their number 1 starter or their number 2 starter. But, I'm not asking for him and Hader because I don't think that's realistic. The Yankees would have to give up a lot more. Okay? And I'm not asking for him and Devin Williams or Hader and Devin Williams. Okay, this is a starter and a reliever. The Brewers have a lot of young pitching. They have some in the stable too, in the prospect stable coming up. But if they want somebody like Luke Voit, or if they want controllable first corner infielders for a bunch of years on the cheap, this is how they get it. Okay, you're not going to get it without a Hader or a Devin Williams or a Corbin Burns. Okay, it's not going to happen if you want both of these guys. No way in hell. So these are my 3 trades. So again, these are 3 scenarios that I think the only 3 scenarios where I think it's a reasonable trade or reasonable for the Yankees to send out Luke Voit. Okay, because they'd be getting a lot back. And again, dealing from a position of surplus to address an area of dire need for the Yankees. Okay, and the Brewers need infielders. The Nationals need infielders and offense. Okay, Cleveland needs a controllable player too, because they want to cut payroll. Well, these are an opportunity for the teams to get that, okay? And in return, the Yankees get pitching prospects or major league level and minor league level pitching in return. So it addresses both needs for both teams. That's the way I see it, as win-win. So again, it's unpopular for a certain baseball community, popular for a certain baseball community. I love Luke Voit. I would be sad to see him go. But very rarely do you have the opportunity to have a trade chip like this, cash it in, and address multiple holes in return. Okay? And this is an opportunity for them to do it, and at the same time replace him with somebody as comparable, like a DJ Lemahieu, one of the team MVP. So it's not that the Yankees wouldn't be taking a step back, particularly if they're bringing in Lindor or a bunch of pitching. Okay, they wouldn't be taking a major step back, and their offense is already a little bit too reliant on the home run at the expense of injuries and a boatload of strikeouts. This is an opportunity for either improving our pitching and deepening the pitching staff, which will take a load off the bullpen, or improving our contact ability in the lineup, making it more versatile, more athletic. Okay, so these are good, solid trades for the Yankees. So, in my opinion, again, let me know what you think. Okay, again, it's a touchy situation right now, Luke Voit, because he's been one of the better players on the Yankees for the past 2 years. I get it, but at the same time, you have to give up to get what you need as well, and this is an opportunity for the Yankees to do that. So, he's our version of, like Brewers don't want to give up Corbin Burns, but in order to address holes, you'll have to give up somebody like that. It's going to hurt on both sides, and every one of these trades, in my opinion, hurt on both sides. But that's the way I think that's a good business how to do it. Each team needs to feel like they gave up a bunch to get a bunch in return. So those are my 3 trades for Luke Voit. Let me know what you think. My next video, I'm gonna go over 3 moves that the Dodgers need to make to repeat in 2021. So be on the lookout for that. Be safe, look out for each other, and I'll talk to you next time.